Well, welcome everyone to another episode of Lethally Stupid. I'm here with Brandon and Soren and maybe Slater if he chimes in. So I wanted to ask you guys something at the start of this one. Get some video game talk going on.
Ooh, yeah, nice.
So we know new Zelda's coming out.
Yes.
And it's gonna maybe be crappy unless they do something with the new Switch. Will they, do you think, make a new iteration of the Switch, like a Pro version of the Switch we have now, or just come out with a Switch 2 or something, different but similar?
Things have gotten really fishy with this because, for one, we're getting super close on the release finally. It was supposed to be at the end of last year, maybe even sooner than that originally. Yeah. And then it was supposed to be March, and now it's pushed back to April?
What, Zelda?
Yeah.
It's in May.
May.
Yeah. It's like May 12th or something now.
Mm-hmm. Damn. Okay, so the thing is,
yeah, exactly.
If you look up the history of Zelda sequels, whenever there is a sequel on the same exact console, there had already been a core release. There is always some kind of upgraded version to the console or controller that you need. Like with the N64, you needed the memory expansion to play Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
For Skyward Sword, you had to have the Wii Motion Plus.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
what's about to be the gimmick for this game? I wonder, because you do have a point.
Yeah. See, I think that COVID screwed up their plans, and they were gonna do like a Switch Plus or Pro or whatever they were gonna call it, and that's why they had the OLED screens, because it was gonna be better handheld and just be more powerful. Console in general for docking and stuff like that.
That one turned out to just be a better handheld, really.
Yeah, if they would have made what they wanted to make, it would have been a better docked console as well, because it would have been more powerful. But because of the whole COVID thing and chips being not available, they instead were like, fuck it, let's just make an OLED regular Switch. So the handheld looks really great, but it's still just a Switch.
Yeah.
So
they did upgrade the. It does have a couple other things different, like it's got twice the internal memory too.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that helps. But I was more thinking the actual power of it is what they wanted
and
to
so
do.
far as the graphics and everything it's capable
an
of.
An upgraded Tetra chip, just something that would make it 4K and better frames, just for better performance is what they were probably going for next. And then because Nintendo never sells at a loss, they're like, well, we can't make that now, so we have to make something. Since they had all these OLED screens, so they made OLED Switch.
Yeah.
So that's why I think the next thing isn't going to be an upgraded Switch. I think it'll just be a new console. But I don't know if it'll come out with Zelda.
I'd like to point out with the memory capacity, they went from 32 to 64, which is still not
it's not a lot. But it is double.
It's literally double though.
Yeah.
It's 100% more memory.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have 128 gigabyte cards. That I use for the Switch because you need the space, but...
Yes.
Okay, so to bring up another point you made is with performance, playing the new Zelda on, the Switch, basically this game, they completely ripped the map out of Breath of the Wild and just completely rebuilt it. And the thing about this is you play the Breath of the Wild, you get into certain areas where there are frame rate issues. The game is not perfect, and also,
frames.
What'd you say?
The force of frames.
Yeah. Oh yes, yes.
Getting there, it's just
right, and then also even with the DLC motorcycle,
the master cycle.
Yeah, you get you go full speed on that thing. You fucking ramp. You're stuck midair for 3 seconds, until the next part of the environment can load or finish loading.
Yeah,
and I mean it's.
Which
probably partially
doesn't make the game not
the Switch, though, right?
So. And here's the thing: you watch on top of that, that it's expanded. They also have I think they're also adding some kind of underground world. They're making if you watch the trailer, you see a whole bunch of environments that have just been lifted up into the sky. So they'll probably have those, and then new areas underneath them, that kind of thing. And then also with the motorcycle, they have new contraptions that they see. You got a go-kart, you got the the flying thing.
Yeah. What it was is they ended up having too many DLC ideas, so they're we just have to make another game. So that's what this turned into, and that's making people worried. Well, it's just going to be the same map. But I feel they'll do a good enough job that it will feel like a completely new game still.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be a problem,
add-on.
because if they go so far as to create underground environments and to create
Yes.
above ground environments, and they already kind of have like an idea of how above ground environments work, because the games like Skyward Sword and everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And like with all the games,
slate tools and gadgets and stuff probably. So.
And with a lot of games that do like pretty much rip the original map and completely like rework it from the ground up. Like one would be the South Park games, going from the Stick of Truth to Fractured But Whole. Technically, like it's almost the exact same map, except in this one, like you can't go to Canada. But like they did change how the environment worked so that it was like, even though it was the same, it was fresh. Like you did like you interacted with the environment in ways you couldn't in the first game.
Yeah. Well, and I totally agree with that, but I would also say that I think like the environment in Stick of Truth and Fractured But Whole is just way less important than the environment in something like Breath of the Wild, where it's like an exploration game.
It's an exploration
RPG
open world game, and that was part of the
So-
charm of Breath of the Wild, was being able to explore Hyrule for the first time.
So I think it's
find new
probably a lot
things.
easier to reuse assets in that context, like
Yeah.
with the South Park games, without it being detrimental to the overall product.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so game does matter, but I trust Nintendo to
At least with Zelda.
Yeah.
Like that's
they're starting to not do Pokemon justice because they just crank it out every year. It's like the fucking bell in the background. Like
it fucking works though, because that's how they get money from me. So
Yeah.
that's like it's
and that's why
every game.
I mean that's why they keep doing it, because it's like,
But-
well, it's Pokemon, it's gonna fucking sell.
like
it's going to. It's just that Game Freak has to put a game out every year, and sometimes they're putting out more than one Pokemon game, so they're spread thin. So imagine like getting your dream job at Game Freak to work on a Pokemon game, but you get a gun put to your head.
It's like do it
and,
now.
And they say you work until this game's finished.
Yeah.
Sleep or eat nothing.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then by the time
and
then I bet by the time that game's finished, they're already balls deep with the team working on the next game, and they're like,
I mean, they were talking about. I mean, Scarlet and Violet came with a little DLC option in the menu.
Yeah.
So
did it?
Yeah, down there in the bottom right hand corner of your menu.
God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't remember if that was like on launch or with the first update, but yeah, it's been out since like.
And they're that far ahead with how many issues the base game has.
Yeah.
Like,
So
that's why I'm like the Nintendo needs to rethink the Pokemon situation and tell Game Freak you get 2, even 3 years to make a Pokemon game.
I would love that.
And
If
in
there was a
between
Pokemon
then-
game every 2 years, even.
And then
Because it
between
gives you a
that'd be
whole
fine.
other like year for a refractory period to like replay the game, complete the Pokedex, do all
not
your
only
extra
that, for them
hunts
to
and stuff.
improve it if they need to improve it, they can do DLCs.
Yeah, make
to keep it
DLC
fresh.
way better if you have
Yes,
the,
make
for
better
the next
DLCs that are
and-
longer, more shit going on in them.
that can be their yearly fucking launch,
That's
is that they
exactly what
have
it
the
could be.
core
They-
game every 2 years they
Yeah,
work
core
on,
game,
and then in
DLC,
between the core games. Yeah.
They can do like 2 regular DLCs, and then they can do like, here's an expansion more than just the DLC, and then to keep the expansion fresh, do another DLC or 2.
Yeah.
Like they could totally do that and put a core game out every 2 or 3 years, and then they can work on stuff. And then if they still want to do remasters, they could probably still have time for it, because they're not all spread so thin
The thing
on such a crazy crunch time, and they
Yeah,
can make the
because
game.
the BDSP remakes were
Yeah,
less than
yeah,
stellar.
they can optimize
Right.
the shit. Like,
And that is a whole other conversation, to where every other remake was modernized, brought
And
to like the current
good.
gen
Yeah.
mechanics, and
Yeah.
and allowing access to all these Pokemon that weren't available in the previous game but still in the same generation, that kind of thing. And then also you were able to take the new gen Pokemon and put it in the fucking remake.
Yeah, and then BDSP is like, hey, it's you got new graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
Kind of.
Like,
But I don't know. But it's kind of disappointing because I never played the original like Diamond and Pearl. I was on like a kind of a I didn't own new consoles for a little while there. There was other stuff going on in my life, so I didn't play from like Diamond and Pearl to X and Y was where I started back up. So that was like 2 generations, because 3 if you count Black 1 and 2. But
I think that's all one generation, ain't it?
I think technically it is. They're not remakes, they're sequels.
And
It was a weird thing they did with Black 2 and White 2.
Well, do they even come out with new Pokemon in those, or is it just a small
No,
batch?
they added stuff, but they weren't any brand new Pokemon. But anyways, so I was excited about the PSP remakes when they came out, because I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I never played this on a legit console. That'll be. And then it's frustrating, and it takes this thing that you were excited about and makes it a chore. So
yeah, gosh. But luckily there's other games coming out this year.
Yeah.
Which, there's a lot of games that are gonna probably be up for Game of the Year. It's like an insane amount because we've already got, which I don't know if Hogwarts Legacy actually will be with how much controversy there is behind it. But it is a great game.
It better fucking have a chance.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, it could get design award. It could get music award because the music in the game's great.
It's kind of.
It's a very charming game. It's got to get something.
I mean, they clearly crushed it.
Oh, they did. They 100% crushed it. It was very. I mean, I barely know anything about Harry Potter, but I got it because all my friends got it, and it did look like a fun game, and it's a very good game. So.
And I mean, that'd be the mark of a good game is if you don't actually have to be invested in the IP per se to enjoy the gameplay.
Exactly.
Then.
Yeah, gameplay was great. I'm trying to think if there's anything that came out in January that's going to be up for Game of the Year. I know like the Monster Hunter game Wild Hearts came out. But I don't know if that got good enough reviews.
Yeah, I don't even remember anything. I've still just been playing Rise for the most part.
Yeah, because it's not made by Monster Hunter people. I just know it's supposed to be like Monster Hunter. I've seen some gameplay of it.
Okay.
I
dig Monster Hunter.
Yeah, it's definitely like same genre, like whatever genre Monster Hunter is, which might just be Monster Hunter. Because it's so unique
like
compared to other
kaiju co-op type things.
Yeah, compared to other games where you fight monsters and stuff, it's unique.
Yeah.
And Wild Hearts is more like World, I'd say, from gameplay I've seen, like how the crafting and stuff like that works, and the instances you go out to, hunt the monsters.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that will go up for any awards. Honestly, like this is biased, but also it gets up for awards anytime there is a game in the series that comes out. The Fire Emblem game will probably have some stuff thrown out there, which I don't know what it would be. It might get like best strategy game or something like that. But I think in April we have the new Star Wars game, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, the sequel to Fallen Order.
Oh.
With
I have
Cal,
no idea.
I
didn't follow Fallen Order. I didn't play it.
Yeah, that one might do well. I'm not sure. And then we have Final Fantasy 16 and Diablo 4, both in June. Both will probably be up for Game of the Year.
Oh yeah.
And then later in the year we get Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, or rather Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So that'll probably be up for awards.
Well, I think it's like
with gonna be a lot of games up for Game of the Year.
Right, and I think these companies that do put up like these like awards and shit, like I think it just like it gets to that point to where one company wins so many, and you get like you start to work closely with them, and then all of a sudden like you pretty much gotta guarantee their game is at least listed or nominated, whatever.
Yep.
And like it. I think it just gets to that point where it's like
Spider-Man 2's coming out, like that's gonna be up for Game of the Year.
Right? It gets to that point is where it's like, okay, we just kind of have to give like every Pixar movie has to fucking win an award.
Yeah.
Like we have to give them something.
Which if Hogwarts only
at this point.
The thing with Hogwarts that's scary is like if it needs to get an award, but if it's only nominated for music, there's 2 Final Fantasy games coming out, which could also get music.
Yeah,
because they typically
notoriously great music.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not only that, a new one, but then also what will be updated, remixed, modernized, probably end up being better versions of Final Fantasy VII music.
So you'll hit the nostalgia buttons too.
Yes, so yeah, there's a lot that it's like, but the art and design of Hogwarts is really good, but then Spider-Man or fucking the Final Fantasies could get that, like Diablo 4 could get something like that, or like game design, like all these games could be up for pretty much every award that's not like indie titles.
Oh, absolutely.
I just don't know what, like I never hear about racing games, but something's gonna get best racing game this year.
Yeah,
maybe it'll be Mario Kart 8 since they keep adding DLC and stuff.
Yeah, it might as well be new.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
they're just gonna I don't know if they'll ever make 9.
You notice the 8 looks like an infinity. This is the last Mario Kart game we're getting.
Exactly.
Technically, Mario Kart 9 is Tour.
I guess that's true.
Yeah,
but
so
I want the number 9.
Yeah,
I
it
want
doesn't
Mario
count
Kart
if it's not
9.
number 9.
No,
Yeah.
well, most of them don't have numbers.
Well, then Final Fantasy 16 is not Final Fantasy 16. It's like Final Fantasy 52.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you also have like I mean, that's the way Nintendo does. You also have like GTA 5, which is actually like the 8th or 9th installment.
It's like, you have,
and because they went
1,
from
2, 3 Vice City, San Andreas,
and then 4
and
yeah.
5. So yeah, it's 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
GTA 5 is.
It's weird.
I can't pretend there's a lot of consistency or that much logic to it. I mean, right?
It don't matter. It's a fun as shit game.
That's the whole point.
I'm completely balls deep addicted to San Andreas right now. Like,
oh yeah.
Oh dude, I just can't get away from it sometimes.
I keep seeing memes of like one that I saw was like me quietly and peacefully passes away on my 90th birthday. Rockstar the next day. GTA 6. And I've seen the same for like the next Counter-Strike games, like Valve, and then it's like an upgraded, like a new Counter-Strike game comes out. Like, but the Grand Theft Auto one.
What, Half-Life 3?
Yeah, Half-Life. Yeah. Oh man, people would lose their minds if another Half-Life was made.
Yeah.
I never really got into them, but
me either. But
like,
people, it's a meme.
I would be more excited for like a Portal.
Yes.
Like,
oh yeah. That's how you test a friendship, is playing Portal co-op.
Yeah. Do Portal 2 co-op. Mm-hmm.
Aren't they like not coming out with another Portal? Didn't they like say that?
No, Valve is notorious about making a great franchise and to be like, that's enough.
Yeah. Well, they might be right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it'll always be great this way.
Yeah, exactly. Because both Portal games are great.
Yeah.
Every Half-Life game I've heard is great.
Yeah, I never really played it much. But.
Team Fortress 2 is an amazing game. That still goes. Team Fortress 2 is 15, 20 years old, and people still play that. So.
I mean, people still play like Halo and stuff.
Yeah,
you still have people
like original servers are going offline, but there's a cheap collection, and people still play the shit out of it.
Right.
Which I totally understand that one.
Well, you can still link up your old Xbox 360 consoles.
It's true, you still do
via LAN. Yeah.
I mean, hell, my first Halo was 3, I think, was the first one I ever played.
That was also where I started.
It was super fun, and then
co-op Halo 3 with my brother, co-op Halo 4, and then ODST.
You know, I was never into like multiplayer, and I never really got super into Halo. But weirdly enough, like years after my brother and stepdad would play Halo a lot, and I tried it every now and again, I couldn't get into it. And then I got the like first Halo remastered on 360, and I was like, okay, whatever. I started playing the story. I fucking got into it, and it's like
good.
It's like the only Halo I can actually sit down and play through the whole thing, and like I beat it. Like,
so how do you feel about the TV show Firefly?
I've actually watched like the first episode, and it seems like a really good show, and I agree that it did not deserve to get canceled.
Yeah, if you decide to watch more of it, and you get to know the cast and everything, it's pretty cool. But
I love Nathan Fillion.
Halo ODST.
Uh-huh.
Nathan Fillion is a character, and several of the other Firefly cast
Buck.
members.
He's like the leader of the ODST squad.
So ODST
kind of
is
like an unofficial crossover thing they got going, or
I think so, because they have. I know they have Nathan Fillion, and they have what's his name, the Baldwin, Jane, and they have one of the women. I don't remember if it's Kaylee.
ODST is a very good game.
But yeah, ODST is a fantastic game.
Yeah, because that's more Master Chief's off doing his other stuff, like going through portals and fighting the Flood and the Covenant, and literally
there's just some shit going on Earth.
Different part of the universe, but Earth still needs protection from the shit happening. So
right.
the
ODST.
The orbital shock troopers get to deal with that.
Yeah, it's probably like my second favorite Halo game.
Yeah, and you play Rookie.
You do.
Yeah, the name of the ODST trooper you get to play as. I hear, does the squad get fucked up? Like, or is there a few survivors? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Wait, can we round back to Nathan Fillion really quick? I would just like to say on the record, like he's fantastic. I loved him in Castle. I loved him in Big Mouth, playing himself, playing his character from his other show.
Yes.
And I would just like to state that I would definitely suck his cock.
I don't know if I like him that much, but I do love Nathan Fillion. So
if you love Nathan Fillion, you have to suck his cock.
Well, he's not here anyway, so it's a non-issue.
That's
So he just sticks his head out of the closet. Hello.
Yeah.
You rang.
Well, you said it.
So I don't think any of you guys have played Destiny.
Destiny? Not
No,
much.
a
Not
A little bit. Okay. Well, he played my favorite character in the Destiny series. He plays. They're called Exos. They're like sentient robot people.
Oh, really?
He plays Cade Six, who's he's a fantastic character. Because I mean, part of it because it's Nathan Fillion, but also because the character's fucking awesome. He has a pet chicken. I forget the chicken's name, but it's like his
Souls.
best
That's
buddy.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I already love him.
yeah. Cade's by far the best Destiny character, 100%.
That was the cock I was talking about.
Yeah.
Fucking the meat off that bone.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's
Was that not clear?
Was
Yeah.
that not clear?
guys?
I mean, that's what I.
Oh my
understood.
god!
He was the biggest that I've seen for like fan casting of like Nathan Drake from Uncharted. Nathan Fillion, because he does have the look and
and
just the personality.
He's a little older, maybe would be the only issue.
Yes, that's the problem. Which I don't know. You guys ever see the Uncharted movie?
I did not watch it.
I
I
actually
almost
didn't.
watched it.
No. It was
good?
actually
Was it
better
worth
than I
it?
thought because I mean I do like Tom Holland.
Okay,
But
yeah.
the biggest problem was like, Mark Wahlberg is Sully. I was like, how do I feel about that? And then I watched the movie and I said, this is actually a good movie.
So I find I always go into movies expecting to be like Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
I almost always like Mark Wahlberg.
Then you watch the movie and go, God damn, Marky Mark is a good actor.
It's like, what the hell?
Well, I think it's because of The Happening, because you could tell like halfway through that movie he fucking checks out.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, he's like, man, this movie fucking blows.
Yeah.
Awful.
What? No.
He's a good guy.
But yeah, everything else, like if he's in something where he's enjoying himself, he's a great actor.
Yeah,
So
I mean, it's not even a great Transformers movie, but he's
Yeah,
great in it.
but yeah.
Like,
I used to
he's
watch.
just great in anything he's
He
in,
is, yeah.
apparently.
I guess I just like Mark Wahlberg.
Because you
So.
think you hear the role and you're like, well, Mark Wahlberg would be a good
Like,
good fit for that. And you watch the movie and you go, holy
Yeah.
shit, he was great.
Yeah.
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 And then like
Wow.
Tom Holland is kind of the younger Nathan
Mhm.
Drake, like for what people wanted from like the games and stuff. But
Yeah.
he makes a good that age range, Nathan Drake. But they need someone different for when he's older, I'd say, or they need to wait 10 years and then do another one.
Have you guys seen Wahlburgers?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
watched
fucking
the
love that.
Wahlburgers.
I used to love that show. I don't think I really watched past the first season, but I love the fact that it was a show that was supposed to be about the restaurant, but then it just kind of turned into a show where Marky Mark, what's his other famous? Donnie, yeah, and then their brother who's a cook. Like, it pretty much turned into a show where they're all just trying to like earn mommy's love.
Yeah.
And what's great, like with the mother, is like the one that's a chef is like her favorite, and she like
Just give a shit about Mark and Donnie.
Yeah, she acknowledges as like this huge star in her life, and then it's like what Mark and Donnie have just done is like nothing compared to the fucking
Mark Wahlberg's
cook.
like literally a rapper, underwear model, and famous movie star. Mom.
Come on, Mom.
Like, come on.
Fucking a millionaire who didn't have to flip burgers to get there.
Yeah. Who's now only now your burger flipping son's only famous because I made a fucking show about it.
Yeah.
Fucking burger.
It's like, you know what? He's famous. He's famous because he's related to me.
Yeah, it's like the fourth Jonas brother.
Yeah. There's one of those.
Yeah. There's
Okay.
a fourth one. They have a younger brother.
I was not aware
There's
of
a
that.
big enough gap that he wasn't, didn't join.
Okay.
Because he's probably gonna hit puberty a year after joining them if he did. So,
Oh.
and not as musically talented.
See, I was at the age
And
range when the
definitely not
Jonas
as good
Brothers were
looking.
popular, where I was like, no,
Yeah.
I hate the Jonas Brothers when
Yeah,
I was like a
I didn't.
teenager. It's like I
was forced to listen
hardcore
to a lot
rejected
of their
them.
music, but
Okay, I'll be honest. I was exactly like that, but their songs would come on in commercials and Disney Channel. I'd just be like, all right.
So I guess I wasn't like that because I
get it.
I seriously didn't know any Jonas Brothers songs, to the point where I was working with somebody, and I guess they were playing them on the radio at work. And she's like, I wish they quit playing Jonas Brothers. And I'm like, which one of these songs is Jonas Brothers?
Yeah.
Like something
They were
about,
just like, please not the one I was just really liking.
Oh, yeah.
no, it was something about the year 3000 or something.
That I was gonna bring that up. That is the song that kept coming up on the Disney Channel. That we went to the year 3000.
I mean, it's insidious, it's catchy, but it doesn't make it like a good song. But
it's a good song when you hear it 50 times
Well,
on the Disney Channel.
For whatever reason.
no, I think any song being forced to hear it 50 times makes it a bad song.
That brings back memories of like other Disney Channel stars who went on to do music. Like
Oh, yeah.
we would
A lot
watch
of
Hannah
them.
Montana. Like my friends would come over And my stepdad would be laying on the couch watching Hannah Montana with like Talon, but like laughing his ass off. And my friends would be like, "Is he really enjoying Hannah Montana that much?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he is."
You know, there's no need to be ashamed of who you are.
Yeah,
right? You know, it's
exactly.
like-
Yeah.
It's a great show.
I mean, Jackson made that show, but
So I did actually have another thing I wanted to mention about the Switch and the games in relation to it and everything.
Mhm.
So when they did the Switch, they kind of made that jump back to, or they went to cartridges.
Yes.
yes.
So, and the last big thing they did with cartridges was obviously like the 3DS family, and then before that the Nintendo DS, and a good chunk of that had some backwards compatibility. So, insofar as like the DS with the Game Boy Advanced games and everything, and I think cartridges could potentially. What I'm saying is, I hope that if they release a new console, I think it's more feasible for them to make it backwards compatible with Switch games, the way they did with 3DS playing DS games and that kind of stuff. And
to be completely honest with you, I think that's something that like Nintendo has completely dropped, like the whole backwards compatibility thing, because
I feel like they were more inclined to do it with the Switch over anything else because of how the Switch is designed.
The most recently they did it with was the Wii, right? Because that was the GameCube.
Yes,
So.
like and no, Wii U you could do Wii.
Okay, yeah.
So like they kept that trend going.
So they have kept the previous gen.
And
with
Wii
the
U
next
did have
gen
the Virtual
continuous.
Console,
Yeah.
which fucking blows my mind of why does the Switch not have that.
Yeah, well, apparently they're working on it.
Yeah, I mean,
well, no, like I don't think Virtual Console is going to be a thing like anymore. It's like because you have the online membership and they need those games to be providing some kind of service, and I think that's also
they're
why
going to have
they're
to
not.
up their Game Boy, games then.
They are slowly but surely, they're wanting to release everything one at a time.
It's kind of like, I mean, Xbox has Xbox Game Pass, which is great, and Xbox is the one I play the least out of every different platform you can play on. But now PlayStation's like, hey, we're doing our Xbox Game Pass now, and they keep adding games every month, and it's actually getting like really worth it, like really good.
Yeah,
there's so many classic games on there.
And
Switch needs to do the same thing.
Well,
and they are slowly doing it, but
it's
they need to do
getting
it
there.
faster.
I mean, they did just add Game Boy and Game Boy Advance.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
but
true.
are they adding games like monthly?
Yes,
they are. Okay,
yeah,
how many games are they adding monthly?
They'll add not always. They won't always add to each one of those libraries, but it'll be like one or two here, one or two here. Okay. The newer ones will probably have like 2 or 3.
So it's always like the third week of the month. PlayStation will add anywhere from 15 to 25 games.
Yeah, see, and
so they've gotten way outpaced on that.
I get where you're coming. Again, these
but
are
one of the most recent ones that happened at the end of February. There's the Horizon series, which is one of their bigger titles on like PS4, PS5. The second one, it came out early 2022. They're like, here, it's on this now. So fairly new big game, AAA title is like, hey. And there's even some games that release on their day one when the game releases. Mm-hmm. So they're doing an okay job there, but it's most of the time only like a PlayStation exclusive they do that with, and nothing too big. Because like it's not like Spider-Man 2 is going to come out and they're like, hey, it's on the streaming service now.
Right.
Well, and insofar as making money and everything with selling more consoles, I think if they add backwards compatibility to the next one with Switch games, it provides them the opportunity to sell it as a way to upscale Switch games, like the new Zelda game that's going to have issues on the Switch and that kind of stuff. So they can be like, oh, you can buy it, and then when this new one comes out, you can play it on this, and you'll have access to X, Y, and Z better features or more things than you would have had.
On that, like Nintendo has stated that like whenever they came out with like the Switch's eShop, which was a completely like rebuilt
that's why the 3DS one's getting closed down.
Yeah, and like the 3DS was linked with the Wii one, but now like the Switch one is completely on its own. They said this is going to be
you can merge the things so that your Switch funds and your 3DS funds and the Wii U funds cross over.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, it's not. I don't think it's as compatible as it once was, or something like that.
I mean, they did it so that you can still buy Virtual Console games before the 3DS thing gets shut down at the end of the month, or the 20th or 27th, something like that. But yeah, they have set up the ability where you can. Because I was doing it the other day, where you can merge funds across all three. Like you can merge all those accounts.
I gotcha.
So,
okay. Well, the thing with is like if you had a Wii and then you had the Wii U, you could download the Wii games on the if you just switch it to the Wii U mode or the Wii mode, I mean. But with this, you can't access those Wii games anymore, even if you had arcade games that are on the Switch now. But they said that like these games going forward, any digital game you own on the Switch, you'll be able to own on the next console.
Oh, like in perpetuity. So
Yes.
if you buy it,
So
it's like
this
you're buying
is-
like a license or something then for that from them?
Pretty much.
Okay. I
Yeah.
mean, that would be better. I would like that. I would love it if they would just extend that to the virtual console games that people already bought.
Yes, that would be awesome.
But
Fantastic.
but they're not going to do that. So
And this is what gives me hope for like the Switch Online, because it is technically getting better. Like technically, yeah, they are getting very much outpaced like by a lot. And considering that you're comparing like 3D, current games compared to what Nintendo's putting out, which
Yeah.
is like 8 to 32-bit games,
which should be easy. I mean, those ROMs
very
exist. They should be like that.
yeah.
So
And it's something like a lot of the times, you port a ROM onto an emulator and it works first thing. Like it
Yeah.
never doesn't work. It doesn't like make new bugs most of the time.
yeah.
It could technically, yeah. But
And even then, it only requires a tiny bit of technical knowledge to figure out what's wrong with it most of the time. Like 99% of your emulation problems you can Google and find the solution with no prior, education as
Right.
far as like running a computer or anything.
So you think they would just have a huge fucking team of game testers just testing out 32-bit games on Switch, but
It seems to me you wouldn't even need a huge team. I think that could be like 20 people.
right, yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
20 people that work from home, like, hey, play this virtual console game all the way through and let us know if it messes up at any point.
Yeah, like,
And they'd be like, oh
great-
shit, I've done this 300 times
Yeah,
on an emulator.
great
so
job right there.
Yeah.
I would do that job all the time.
Yeah, so it's like I don't think there'd be any shortage of people willing to do that.
That's what
or
I did
anything,
for
so-
Doom 2016 mobile version. It was like, hey, because I tested the mobile version, they're like, hey, game's already out, but we're trying to port it to mobile, like, see how it plays. But they wanted me to use a controller Bluetooth to my phone. I was like, okay, yeah, I can do that. I got decent money for doing it. So
I mean, that's pretty cool.
yeah. And then after that, they were like, hey, we want you to test Doom Eternal. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't do the full game. It was just first mission and multiplayer is what they had me test. So
Okay.
it's still super fun. But yeah, I do the virtual console one, like in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh, $9 an hour? That's plenty.
yeah, that's fine. It's like you're literally paying me to do what I was going to do anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
8-hour days. Let's make it 16.
Yeah, yeah, pretty
It's like,
much.
what if I just like sleep at work? Can I just have like a week on and a week off?
Yeah.
What if we
Yeah.
work something up like that? So
Just fuck if on my weeks off I would be playing video games, so I might as well just
Yeah.
stay locked in.
yeah. So I mean, so I don't think there's got to be a more intentional reason why they aren't making all this virtual console stuff widely available. Because I think if you made virtual console on the Switch, available and accessible and even reasonably priced, like if you charged, $2.99 for the OG Pokemon games, they would sell like crazy. And I mean, that's data that Nintendo already owns. They've already designed it. It would take minimal funds to port it over to the Switch.
Here's one
And
issue.
then it would make them a shitload of money.
I'll tell you right now, on the Switch, it won't be $2.99. It won't be as cheap as the 3DS. They released, arcade classics. That's kind of like what virtual console was going to be on the Switch at first before they had the Switch Online.
Yeah, yeah.
They released Super Mario Bros. The original arcade, not like the side-scrolling
Like the Donkey
platformer.
Kong's chucking barrels at you?
Not that one. The one with like the turtles and that are coming out the
okay.
pipes.
Yep.
$7. So Pokemon probably going to be somewhere
Like
between
10.
12 to 20, I bet.
I mean, I legitimately don't think they will sell well enough at $20 for the OG games.
But it's Pokemon. when
It
you
is
think about
Pokemon,
it.
but
They
people
might.
that care that much probably own those cartridges.
I'm waiting for
So-
them to announce the
And-
release of all the Game Boy Pokemon games for Switch Online.
And like my point was like I'm sure you're correct and they're going to charge more than it's actually worth.
Mm-hmm.
But my point was just to illustrate that they could charge 99 cents for the Pokemon titles and make a massive profit on it.
And it's just profit, yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah, they already have the game.
you imagine
It's
how many
like-
people, if they saw, Pokemon Red in the Switch for, the e-store for 99 cents,
Right.
it's like, I'll do that right now.
Pretty much
I have
anyone
$1.
anyone who has internet and a Switch would be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll buy that.
So,
So, yeah, they can make an insane amount of money.
and
That's
then
the-
they wouldn't have to do the license where you own it in perpetuity. They could make you buy it on the next thing if they sold it that cheap.
Yeah,
So,
and then there's like the whole argument about like emulation, where it's like, well, if they're not trying to preserve these old games, and you own, the software and the hardware for it, then I think emulation's 100% fine.
Yeah.
It's just like, because they're not, I mean, fuck, they're not trying to preserve it. Like,
I think that anytime a game turns like 15 or 20 years old, I think you should be allowed to safely, legally
statute
run it
of
on a
limitations
computer.
is up.
Yeah.
I can
Well,
do
and there's
whatever I
like
want with it.
there's the basic argument of like if you want to play Pokemon Fire Red, for example. Nintendo doesn't make that anymore. Nintendo doesn't make the system to play that on anymore. And Nintendo offers no support
there's
for any of that
to
stuff.
buy it on anything they have out currently.
Yeah. So the only option they give you is to buy it from someone who's not them. Third party. They make no money because you buy it on eBay or something.
Yep.
Or play it illegally.
Yeah.
Neither way do they make money.
Right.
So I don't understand. I guess I just don't understand why they don't make it readily available, because people would want it.
Yeah,
So.
there'd be so much less for Nintendo specifically pirating. Because people would buy the stuff because they're just like, oh yeah, I want to play it on my hardware, especially if it's a new Switch that does 4K and has better performance and better frames and stuff like that.
Well, and then they provide you the option of, hey, you can connect this to Pokemon Home.
Yes.
So those old Pokemon you catch, that
Pokemon
Mewtwo from Pokemon Red, guess what? You can put it in Pokemon Sword and play competitive with it or whatever.
Yeah.
Scarlet and Violet. So.
Yeah, people would lose their minds over stuff like that with Pokemon.
Yeah,
They
and I
make
mean, they already
so
have the
much
groundwork
money.
in play, because I don't know how much you guys have messed with Pokemon Home, but if you get Pokemon from, previous generations, like the Virtual Console, they've got a little Game Boy Color mark that no other Pokemon has.
That's cool.
Yeah. I have a shiny Pidgey that's got that OG, like, Virtual Console icon.
Aww.
I know.
Oh, man.
But, yeah, I think I just don't see why they aren't making the money they could be with emulation, because they could provide people what they want and make tons of money. So.
True.
Yeah.
So there's got to be something that I don't know about in the works that's causing them not to do it. So that's my only conclusion.
Who knows?
They're just fucking selfish.
I'm also wondering whatever they do next with the Switch, when that's going to come out. Because you really think they'd want to have it out before Zelda?
Yeah.
That's what makes
Well,
sense
unless they're
to
going to
me.
do the upscaling option where they sell it as like a...
Totally could, but...
I mean, honestly, we could be looking at another Wii U situation where what we're going to get next is going to be some weird janky hybrid of, the Switch and the Wii, like the Wii U was. And we're not going to get, the smooth, clean Switch until the one that comes after this next one.
Here's the Switch U.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh.
I actually loved, like, the whole, Wii U thing. I loved it more than the original Wii. Like,
it's not that I don't like it. It's just that it's not as good as the Switch at doing what the Switch does.
This is something Brandon and I've discussed before. The way they named it was not smart, because they did not sell as many as they could have if they would have just given it its own separate name away from the Wii. Or
even just Wii 2 probably would have done it better than Wii U.
Than Wii U. Because Wii U just sounds like a different, like, it's like, oh, what is it, like a slim Wii? Like, well, I already got a Wii.
Yeah, it's like, I have a Wii.
Not everyone's going to do that.
Yeah.
I started working in electronics in 2015. That was only whenever it was 3 years old. People didn't realize it was its own new console.
Yeah.
They thought it was just some kind of weird Wii extension.
Yes. 100%. Run into that all the time. You're like, okay, so...
they thought they would be buying, like, a gamepad itself and then connecting it to the original Wii at home.
They thought they were buying that, or they were going to buy a Wii U game. And I'd ask people, like, do you have a Wii U? And they're like, oh, I got a Wii. I'm like, well, you're not going to be able to play that on your Wii. It's a Wii U game. And they're like, okay, so what's a Wii U? Because the same thing. They're like, oh, so I need to buy one of those pads. I'm like, it's its own thing. Like, it's its own console. There's a console and a pad. They go together. I mean, you can play Wii games on it, but it's its own separate thing. It's newer and
like, I've never owned a Wii U, so I went from the Wii to the Switch.
Yeah.
Most people did.
Yeah.
It sold around 12 million consoles.
I think, do you remember Jordan who worked at Walmart? He has a Wii U that he maintains.
Jordan from Walmart.
Over at the Lawn and Garden when you worked there, tall guy. Bushy hair.
What's his last name?
McCoy?
Maybe, vaguely. I don't know. I've known quite a few Jordans, and there's one that
I
don't like at all.
Think you guys overlapped for very long.
We wouldn't have.
Yeah. But regardless, but no, he's a game collecting enthusiast. He's got a lot of OG stuff. He was just sending me videos the other day of him completing the Pokedex in Pokemon Yellow while still
really?
in possession of his Master Ball. So he caught the Mewtwo at the end without the Master Ball.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, but he's a committed collector, and I think that's the type of person that has a Wii U now.
Yeah,
He's like the committed
like
video game collector.
It's like, I still have a Wii U because I haven't bought all the games I want from Virtual Console on there, and they're getting rid of it like at the end of this month.
Yeah.
So I need to go on there and buy every Fire Emblem game that's on there.
Mm-hmm.
I need
the plan, because I think I have all the Pokemon games that are on Virtual Console. That's something I need to double check, but I'm just going to buy all of them down.
I'm working on getting them all on my 3DS.
Yeah.
Say, like, I need to download Pokemon Bank, and after it closes, Pokemon Bank should still work.
And it should be free.
Yes, but you can't download it, so you gotta have it.
Yeah.
So, and I still have, like, a bunch of Pokemon from, like,
don't forget Pokemon Transporter, too.
Pokemon Transporter.
It's
Is
another
that a separate app for the Switch?
Yeah. For the 3DS.
For 3DS, just transfer it to
You
Switch.
need Pokemon Bank and Pokemon Transporter.
Okay.
Because Transporter is what lets you take the Virtual Console Pokemon and put them in Pokemon Bank. And then Bank lets you put them in Pokemon Home.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
But
then I wouldn't need that because I don't have any Virtual Console.
Oh, well, yeah.
I have like X or Y. I think I have X, and then also Omega. I think it was Omega Ruby.
Well, I think you should still download it because then if you ever decide to sell your 3DS later, it has more value.
True. Although they couldn't download the.
No, they can use it for ROMs. If they if they hack a Switch or a 3DS.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyways. But if they're hacking it, they might be able to put it on there themselves afterwards anyway.
That is true. Yeah.
But I know that there are already people selling them with the things pre-downloaded. So
who the fuck is buying? Just buy a used Switch and get it done. Like,
yeah, dude, I thought about buying. So I have considered buying a secondary. We were talking about the names for the Wii U. That tie it back to this. My favorite dumb console name, the new Nintendo 3DS XL.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's actually the name of it.
The actual name.
But you can't buy a Nintendo. Yeah, a Nintendo 3DS XL is different than a new Nintendo 3, and you can buy a used new Nintendo 3DS XL. So.
And then you would, and at one time it was the new Nintendo 3DS XL.
Yeah.
New.
So I do not know why the hell they did that. That was super dumb. But I thought about buying a secondary one so that I could run ROMs and stuff on it, because you can crack them so that you can run ROMs off an SD card, and then you can run any Game Boy Advanced, NES ROM. And I don't want to do that to my main one because I don't want to,
I
don't want to fry it or something.
I have two Switches. One is the one I got from day one, which has a flaw in it to where it allows it to be hackable. That Nintendo eventually fixed, about after a year after it released.
Mine might be that one too, because it was pretty close to release.
If there's a serial code you could look up to find out for sure, but so my plan is to either hopefully hack it, use it for whatever I could use, like maybe put some Wii games on there. Technically, I think
I wonder if you can run GameCube games.
Oh, I'm sure you could. But
Wind Waker.
I think that if someone figures it out, then they could make a Wii emulator on that thing, because the Joy-Cons are
Bluetooth, just like the Wiimotes were,
and they have all the functions and then some. And then they can act exactly like if they port a Wii game or remake a Wii game and it has the Wii controllers, they will act just like a Wii controller.
Yeah, because they have all the gyroscopes and they have the one even has the IR thing on it. So
which I don't think you necessarily need that.
That was only for pointing at the screen, wasn't it?
Well,
like
they don't use like a sensor for pointing anymore. It's actually it's just based off of where the controller motion is. So basically, it'll move it just follows motion. So as this is moving, the cursor is moving. All you do is press a button to relocate the cursor, and then up, down. So,
well, that is more convenient.
Yes. So no more sensors. No more
but
that nonsense. Why did I do this on a podcast?
I guess for anyone who can't see, he jerked his finger through the air to mimic the bouncing back and forth of those two little dots from when you would have to calibrate the Wii sensor bar.
The fucking hands, just all over the place.
Yeah. Like, why does my Wii have 3 hands for some reason?
Like, why is it upside down?
Like, what's wrong? I mean, you could get it to do weird stuff if you just get it far enough away from the console.
And then a lot of times, I don't think you could just hover the hand itself over an option. I think it had to be the fucking finger. Like,
it did,
and which made it way harder.
So it was very. I mean, I have so many fond memories with the Wii, but looking back on it compared to like some modern stuff, it's like, wow, yeah, a lot of that was annoying.
Yeah, I remember during the Wii time, I got pretty bored of it quick. So and then like
I learned to hate motion controls pretty
I
early
turned them off everywhere I could on the Wii. So
like the Metroid Primes being like they're like especially the Wii version of the first one.
Metroid Prime 3 Corruption.
But like first one came out on GameCube, you can just play with a regular controller. But on the Wii, it had to be motion controls. And there's a few videos where we tried to do like our playthrough of Metroid Prime.
And that one, it wasn't that we didn't get back to it, it was we gave up, right?
We gave up pretty quick because I got so pissed off. I was just like, I fucking hate it. Like I was about to break the controllers. They remade it for Switch very recently.
I saw it,
and it's being sold for a whole bunch of money on eBay. But I'm just waiting for a new wave. I'm gonna buy it, or you just buy it digitally. So
actually, it's digital exclusive right now. It still has a little while until they release physical copy. But you want to know something interesting? It was super close to being #1 on the charts, but it's digital only. So if they had released physical simultaneously, they would have owned it.
Yeah.
So stop releasing digital first, goddammit.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Hopefully this has somewhat of an impact.
I mean, yeah.
I would certainly take it as, vital information. It's like, oh, we could have tipped the scales if we had just, done it this way and made it more convenient for everyone.
Waiting on Metroid Prime 4.
So I remember trying to play 3. I think it's 3 that's called Corruption. But anyway, I got it at like a discount store for the Wii, several years ago. But the controls, they're like you were talking about. I distinctly remember one thing where it wants you to hold the controller sideways and move it forward like you're moving like a lever forward, and then turn it sideways and push it down, and then pull it backwards.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Brought back bad memories.
Yep.
Yeah. Because now I'm starting to remember.
Tonight.
I'm starting to remember all the fucking times I took the time to learn this convoluted motion scheme for a fucking Wii controller, only to have it be super difficult and then only need to do it once during the fucking game and never come back to it. Like, why did it waste my time?
Yeah.
With this goddamn...
It's to show you how cool this motion control stuff is.
I get it, I just want to proceed.
There's so many times on our playthrough of Skyward Sword where he would his freak out, so the motion controls.
I fucking blow up that mic.
I didn't play Skyward Sword all the way through on the Wii, and I picked it up for the Switch.
The first big one was when you're trying to swing on the fucking vines.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
That was the first big blow up in the series, and then it was fighting the big monster with the feet, the imprisoned.
imprisoned is what it is when he's
which is
you
technically demise. Imprisoned.
It's demise in his imprisoned form, so it's called the imprisoned.
Yeah,
you gotta go chop up his toesies and stuff.
And then there's stuff it's where they're just all around all his feet, and you're trying to hit a specific one while he's moving, but the motion controls make you swing under it or not hit just something. So you're trying to do the spin move and he won't do it.
And it was the timing with everything for the amount of time you need to do the fucking motion, and then the thing that would happen in the game, a fucking field of electricity is coming at you.
And
it just
so we have to fight him 3 times. He gets progressively more challenging.
Yes. And then there's the first night we were gonna beat the game. He broke the controller fighting Demise. Rage, eventually. So I came back another night, and that's when he beat Demise. But originally,
I don't remember that.
Yeah, he broke one of the controllers.
Shit.
That's how angry motion controls make people.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I've broken so many video game accessories. I used to have a DS. One day I just fucking snapped in half.
Holy shit.
I was pretty young. I was
Hey.
maybe like 11 or
Right
12. And like before that, you could see like little teeth marks
Yeah.
on it.
Just bit it.
I was like, motherfucker.
What kind of DS was it? Was it like a clamshell, like a fat, old school fat DS?
Yeah,
where it's
it
got
was
like the
like-
big base and then the smaller screen.
It
that
was
flips open,
it
or-
was like the OG, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
They're
And I
pretty-
didn't have the next one. I wasn't allowed to have the next one.
I think there's one model I'm missing to
Is
have
it
like the
the-
whole line. So I've got the DS Fat, like the OG DS,
Uh-huh.
and then I have a DSi.
That would be the second generation.
Yeah, but I think there's also a thing called the DS Lite, and I don't remember if that's before or after the DSi.
Ooh, I don't remember.
Because the DSi is compatible with Game Boy
Oh.
Advanced games,
Oh,
like
wait.
DS Lite is not.
DS Lite, is that the one where it doesn't fold?
No, that's the 2DS.
Is it the 2DS?
Yeah,
okay.
where it looks like a
Yeah.
doorstop.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
own two of those.
Alright.
Because they're cheap. They're so cheap, and then you
They
can
were.
trade with 3DSs so I can,
Hmm.
complete Pokedexes and older games too.
Oh, yeah.
And also, cheat and power level Pokemon to play through quick to get to a specific point. But, anyways, yeah, I think that's the only one I'm missing is the DS Lite.
Damn. So, yeah, I can't think of which one that is at all.
I don't know, I'll have to do a DS dive again sometime. I just remember every time I think about the DS, I think about how dumb the chargers are. Like
Oh,
how
yeah.
there's a different charger for a regular DS, and then there's a different charger for the DS Lite, and then for some reason the charger for the DSi and the Game Boy SP are the same. But then, or no, it's the regular DS and the Game Boy SP that are the same. And then the DSi has its own charger, and then the DS Lite and DS Lite XL had a different charger, and then
you're
then
right.
ever since the 3DS,
So many different- yeah.
they've kept that
Kept
one
the
that's
same
been
one.
but
but
that's good.
for a while it was so many different
Yeah.
chargers. Oh my god.
so you'd be like, you buy one of these and be like, I have a
Also,
charger for this,
remember
I
the
have
Game
such
Boy
and such a
Advance
thing.
screen being so bad you had to get that light attachment to
Yep.
play in the dark.
I have one of those, like the worm light
Yes,
things.
yep, I have one
Mhm.
also. And they're just like, hey, you want your batteries to last an even shorter amount of time?
Yep.
Get this light. Because you can't see shit in the dark.
Yeah, you can't play. If you want to play your game in the dark, you're supposed to be asleep.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I think we have a podcast, fellas.
Think so? All right.
Who would like to do the outro?
I don't know. I did the sellout thing where I told people to like it last time, so
Yeah.
someone else can
Yeah.
do that this time.
Okay, whatever. Get the fuck out of here, motherfuckers. We out.
We outie.